found my AIP cheese. Welcome to Real World AIP, the YouTube channel dedicated exclusively to helping you implement the autoimmune protocol, but it might also be useful if you're into clean eating and whole foods and things like that. I'm Stacy, and today I'm going to be talking about bone marrow. If you've never had it, you don't know what you're missing. Bone marrow is the stuff in the middle of the marrow bone. This is called a canoe cut. I had the butcher at Whole Foods cut it right down the middle lengthwise to make it easier to get the marrow out. Bone marrow is delicious, okay? If you haven't had it, please try it. It adds a beautiful flavor to soups and stews. You just throw a little bit in there. You can use it to make gravy. Oh, you can add a little bit to your mashed white sweet potatoes or any kind of mashed potato, anything. Today I'm making cheese with it. Oh yeah. So first things first, we just got to get this roasted so we can scoop the marrow out. So I'm going to put these on a roasting pan. I'm going to preheat my little toaster oven to 425 degrees and then I'm going to let these go for like 20 minutes. You can also more commonly find marrow bones that look like this. It's all the same. So I'm just going to make them all together. Beautiful. All right, 20 minutes at 425. What if you don't have marrow, don't know where to get marrow, don't want to get bone marrow? It's okay. You can make this cheese with bacon fat. And either way, it's going to be delicious. I find the marrow makes a more traditional tasting cheese. The bacon cheese just tastes like bacon, but it has the other properties of cheese. All right, so these are cool enough to handle, and I'm just gonna start scooping this marrow out into a container. Look at that. Just as a warning, this is over 90% fat, so you don't want to take a big old gob with a spoon, unless you're the type that likes to eat a stick of butter. But this is best, at least in my opinion, mixed into things, or at least spread it on something. So a little bit of collagen in there. Ooh. Oh, beautiful. Now you can totally do this step ahead of time, weeks, months ahead of time. Basically, once you get all the marrow out, you can just stick it in the freezer until you're ready to make your cheese. You're gonna need 60 grams. So basically, it's gonna be a 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of marrow per cheese recipe. Now the base of the cheese is going to be plantain. You won't even know what's in there. Plantain has this unique textural property that makes it hold things together. I pressure cooked my plantains. I cut the ends off, cut it in half, left the skin on, and pressure cooked them for a half an hour in my Instant Pot. You could also just boil them for a half an hour. Basically what I was left with, this is 200 grams. I like to weigh everything just because when you measure by volume, you can be off. If you're using measuring cups, it's like a cup and a half, 1 3/4 or something like that. To the 200 grams of cooked green plantain, I'm going to put in that bone marrow. If you want to use bacon fat instead of marrow, I would highly suggest using 30 grams of the bacon fat, or 2 tablespoons, and then 2 tablespoons of coconut oil or avocado oil or something. If you go a full 60 grams on the bacon fat, it's going to be like ultra super bacony. Hey, that might be good, I don't know, but I'm all about lowering omega-6s too. It's going to give it enough flavor. You don't have to go the whole 60 grams of bacon fat, but you can. I mean, you certainly could. Alright, so in here I have 200 grams of the green plantain, I have 60 grams of marrow, or you could use 30 grams of bacon fat, 30 grams of oil. And then I'm going to put a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. So 3 teaspoons. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. This part is optional, but I think it's yummy. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Totally feel free to skip this if you are low FODMAP. Marrow, plantain, lemon, salt, onion. Boom. Now, we're going to blend it. You want to get it to the point where it's like dough and it just starts spinning on its own, which can take a little bit of work. You know, it takes a little time. As you can see, there's steam coming out of there. That's what we're left with. So it's very hot and melty. That literally took about 5 minutes to get to that point, so don't get discouraged. Basically, you go until it's, you know, melty looking like that, and it can spin on its own, and just be patient and give it time. So this is just a little bit of unbleached parchment paper. Just pour it all in one big blob. By the way, yes, you can freeze this. It thaws perfectly, exactly like it was before you froze it. So make a big batch because you're gonna love this. And I get that in a ball. And then I'm gonna refrigerate this overnight, and beautiful things are going to happen. Let's revisit this in the morning. All right, it's been about 12 hours. If it's not hard like this, then you haven't left it in the fridge long enough. I know you probably think, oh, 6 hours is plenty. It's really not. For some reason, you really gotta go like a whole 10, 12 hours. And then what you're left with is cheese. Let's cut into this. Look at that. And of course now we have to see how well it shreds. It shreds perfectly. Look at that. But does it melt? I'm gonna pop this into my toaster oven for a few minutes. Show you what happens. As you can see, it kind of holds its shape, but it gets like kind of like a cheddar cheese that wasn't fully melted. So it's got like a ooey gooey cheesy kind of texture. I kid you not, this tastes just like fried mozzarella. Oh my goodness, this is like, just eat it like this. You're curious about the nutrition facts? 50 grams of this cheese is going to have about 129 calories, 11 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of fat. Please do let me know which variety of this cheese you made and how you liked it. If you added anything, you can add chives. Don't blend the chives in though. I would mix those in at the end after you're done blending. You can add a little bit of garlic powder. You could turn this into a wasabi cheese. You could add a tablespoon of 100% freeze-dried wasabi. It would be kind of like a pepper jack. This is definitely my best cheese because, well, the queso cheese sauce is right up there with it. But this is my best solid block, sliceable, shreddable cheese. Well, the golden beet cheese was really good too. It was just more labor intensive. This one is easier, faster, and just as tasty. So I'm going with, I don't need to experiment with cheese anymore unless I want to play around with flavors, but I mean, I found my AIP cheese. If you want to see little clips of behind the scenes of my channel, what I bought at the grocery store, what I'm working on in the kitchen, I do post clips almost every day on Lens. It's a feature of Patreon, but you don't have to be a patron to view the clips, so they're free to the public. If you are a $2 patron, I also put out a once a month exclusive patron-only recipe tutorial, and I also answer more questions and do more behind the scenes stuff, but the clips are always free no matter what, so check those out. I hope to see you soon, and until then, be healthy.